Hello, Brigadiers and Brigadettes and hockey fans alike. This is your captain speaking. Welcome to my channel. Now let's jump into some hockey content. Hello everybody, this is Monday. We're getting this video out, and this should probably be the last time you have to deal with this audio issue. We'll be getting a new microphone soon if we can't get this figured out later today, and that'll be that, and c'est la vie. So if you are new, please make sure to subscribe, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. So as much as I hate to say it, the Penguins are doing a lot better than I expected them to, and I'm going to be honest with you, I really thought this would be the year that they would just kind of taper off and not be terrible, but miss the playoffs. They had just come off of a great season, but that ended in a major disappointment where they got knocked off by the Montreal Canadiens in the qualifying round. And to some people, that is, the end of their playoff streak. Normally, I'm pretty mean to the Penguins, but since they were such a good team, I'm going to say that the playoff streak's alive. I'll allow it to slide. So, yeah. And with the division being realigned, this is kind of why I thought that they would be worse. You've got the divisions changed because of COVID. So you have the New York Rangers, which I think personally I was a little bit too hyped for this year, but they're a young up-and-coming team that's going to be pretty good. You've got the New York Islanders that have the infusion of youth and experience. They're pretty good. Good defensively. They've got some offensive talent. Semyon Varlamov is just a beast. So, yeah. Then you've got the Boston Bruins, who have won the East 3 times in the past decade. So fair to think that they would be a challenge, as well as Patrice Bergeron, Brad Marchand, David Pastrnak, etc. That team is really, really good. The Washington Capitals, which, has been kind of a thorn in the side for the Penguins. Not too much, but a little bit more as of late. And then the Philadelphia Flyers, team that went to the semifinals against the Islanders last year. Second round, excuse me. I don't know why I keep calling it semifinals, but they went to the second round, lost in Game 7 to the Islanders. And, yeah, they were a pretty good team. And this year they've kind of tapered off. But still, you've got a lot of good teams in this division, plus the Sabres and the Devils, but we don't talk about that. So, I think this is the year that this team, would taper off, like we said, but they've managed to exceed expectations. So, I'm not going to say I'm proud of them because I don't like the Penguins, but they're currently first in this rugged division thanks to a 4-game win streak. They've only got 7 games left to play. So, kudos to the Penguins for outperforming all those things. And, with 7 games left, do they win the division? Let's talk about it. I think they do, as they play the Flyers twice, and they play the Sabres 2 more times to finish out the year. And it's crazy to me because, you think the Flyers would probably be a team that should be in the hunt for the playoffs. They started out really, really well, and it's just right off the cliff. Everybody doesn't know how to play hockey anymore on the team. Not everybody, but there's a lot of people that suddenly don't know how to play hockey, and then the Sabres are bad. So, yeah, I do think that they win the division with 7 games left. You have those 4 games. Surely you win both against the Sabres. You take 1 from the Flyers. That's 6 out of the 8 possible points. I think they get it. And what do I think sparked this? I really think what sparked it was the upset against Montreal. I think it sparked a fire in these guys. When you are in a locker room that is content and you consistently win and you're a championship contender and you've got titles, you've got all these accolades, you've got so many great Hall of Fame players, I think there is an easiness to getting complacent. I think that we're always the best. That's just how it is. That's how it's always going to be. And it's sometimes you need a slap in the face. And Montreal gave them that slap in the face. Nobody expected the Canadiens to win unless you expected Carey Price to be playoff Carey Price, which he was. And I'm not going to go on the Carey Price thing. We've talked about it before. I really am a big fan of Carey Price, but he's older, so let's move on. And so I do think that sparked them into the mindset of, we need to get back into this. We've had some playoff disappointments. We're not the Pittsburgh Penguins of past, where it's just, we come in, we knock people around, and we score a bunch of goals, and we win games, and we win trophies, and we're one of the coolest teams in the league. It's been disappointment in the playoffs, so that's where it is. But going into the playoffs, do I think they'll be contenders this year? I'm not really sure, and we'll talk about that in this video a little bit more. And they're 3-1 against the Bruins, 6-2 against the Islanders. Big shocker there. I'm going to move my chair real quick, or not, because it's stuck to the ground. And 4-2 against the Capitals. I do think that they could contend, and looking at their records against these really good teams, I do think that they, show a lot of promise with this, but I'm still not sure. And I think a big part of that is, I'm not going to say that I'm like an 80-year-old guy that has seen everything in the hockey world, but, I've been around hockey for a while, and I think that the Penguins have had some years where they've really had some duds in the playoffs, and you expect them to go farther, and they don't. And it's one of those things that it seems like every time I make a bracket and pick the Penguins to go relatively far, they just decide, oh, I'm going to get knocked out in the first round or second round appearance for me, and then that's it. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. What I will say is that them having a 6-2 record against the Islanders is a big, big deal for me going forward. The Islanders, 2 years ago, swept them when they were the baby Isles. They were the team that was gritty and they had some talent. Tavares left for Toronto. Kind of, what are they going to do? Well, what do? They sweep the Pittsburgh Penguins after another great year in the regular season, which I think has started the whole trend of, is Mike Sullivan, the Pittsburgh Penguins head coach, going to get fired? But yeah, big deal there. They are 6-2 against the Islanders. And I expected the Islanders to be the thorn. I can't even think. I expected them to be the thorn in the Penguin side. There we go. I got Boston on my mind, something like that. But yeah, I expected them to be that thorn. But here we are, 8 games played, the most you can play in the regular season against them. And the Penguins have pretty easily handled the Islanders. 6-2 against them, that's good. Now, going into the playoffs, you have Sidney Crosby. As much as I hate Sidney Crosby, not as a person, but as a player, you're going to get Sidney Crosby. You're going to get a Hall of Fame player that's going to tear it up in the playoffs just like he does in the regular season. Evgeny Malkin, definitely having a down year defensively, but he'll provide you that offense you'll need in the playoffs, so that's good. But one player I did really want to point out here is Jared McCann, and he is so underrated right now. I'm not one to hype up Penguins players, but if you don't know who Jared McCann is, probably keep an eye on him. He gets a relatively good amount of points in a small amount of playing time. 26 points in 36 games played, and only 14 minutes a night on the ice. Usually you're not going to get that level of points per game on the ice. If you're getting that time, more like 20 minutes, somewhere around there, 18, 20. But if he played a full season, he did a 60-point mark. And that's a big deal for somebody that doesn't get a crazy amount of ice time. And I think it's pretty impressive. He's a good two-way player. And did I forget to mention, he's 24. So Crosby and Malkin get older. The Penguins just get more talent because they hate me. And they want to consistently be good and make me sad. But that's fine. So congrats on Pittsburgh for having such a young, enticing player to watch. And if you don't know him, maybe if you watch a Penguins game, focus on him a little bit. I think he could be something, I'm not going to say generational, but I think he could be a key player for them. And then, of course, you have Jake Gensel, who will give you 25-plus goals in a season. I'm not really sure if he'll ever get 40 goals again like he did a few years back, but I do think he will be a consistent goal scorer in the league. Maybe 30 goals per season will be a thing that he could shoot for. And he does dish out the puck fairly well. Then you have Brian Rust, who can also shoulder the load offensively. I'm still not sure if the Kasperi Kapanen deal is a great deal for the Penguins overall when they traded to get him from Toronto. But he does provide 0.7 points per game in 15 minutes a night. So, you're getting production out of him. And maybe he can play a crucial role for them in the playoffs. This is still a team that I think you do need to watch out for. And while I'm not sure that Tristan Jarry, their goaltender, can take them all the way to the cup, their offense is lethal. They have, I think their blue line is pretty good looking at it. And yes, they have given up a lot of high danger chances, and that's not all on them. But I think that, the blue line can clean it up. The offense is lethal. Maybe Tristan Jarry can get things going. I know I was a little bit skeptical of him going into this season, where it's going to be the first real season where he gets to be the guy. But it does seem like he starts off kind of slow every year, which I noticed maybe if he doesn't get as much time or he doesn't get a lot of games played, it takes him a minute to really get that feel behind or in the crease. So maybe this is where we start to see Tristan Jarry, be the guy. He is like 5th in the league for wins, so we'll have to see how it goes there. And, maybe they do pull off one last big run with Sid the Kid and Gino. We talk about them having 3 Stanley Cups. Obviously, they won against the Red Wings back when I was a kid. Then they won back-to-back years where they beat the Sharks in 6 and the Predators in 6. So, yeah, maybe they have one more big run in them. This team is still pretty talented. Not sure if I want to pick them to win it, but yeah, I do think there's a lot of talent here. I do think that they could possibly pull off a run. This offense definitely is good enough. If the blue line does clean it up, like we said, Maybe. And the Penguins have always had a knack for making me feel worse about my hockey team, who are currently on a 9-game losing streak, and the Canucks, maybe in the playoff hunt, but we'll see. So yeah, that is going to be it for today. Penguins fans, enjoy this in the last time that I talk about it for this video. Hearing me say I was wrong about your team yet again. Another successful year, but what can you do if you're a Blue Jackets fan but cry? That is going to wrap it up for the video today. And if you are going to subscribe, do it now. Just hit that sub button and give me a thumbs up if you liked it. So, everybody stay safe, have a great day, and stay away from COVID, all right? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes, and hockey fans in general. This is your captain signing off. Have a great week.